Okay, this is Unit 0, Lesson 5, warm-up. All right, so there are, right here, there's absolute value bars, the vertical bars that go up and down, parentheses, set notations, brackets. When a problem is worked for orders of operations, you work the innermost brackets or bars until they're finished. I've seen some people, they've got something going on here, and there's lots of stuff here, plus something here, minus something here, and then more parentheses. You got to stay in the parentheses before you multiply the leftover by 2. So make sure you work the inner brackets first, then the rest of the brackets. Get one number before you come out of those brackets. All are treated like parentheses in orders of operations. So these are not parentheses, but they're treated as such. So in other words, if you're working a problem that has lots of different things going on, you want to do the absolute values first, as in please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, do the please, do the parentheses, do the absolute value bars as well first. Okay. Algebraic expression is a phrase that contains numbers. It can have variables, adding and subtracting. The adding and subtracting are the operations. Evaluate is similar to simplify. If you have an equation, it has an equal sign, and you're going to solve equations. Okay, you're going to come up with like x equals 2. But when you evaluate and simplify, you're not necessarily going to get one digit as your answer. You can, but you might not, especially when we start getting into like x plus 1 and things like that. That could be an answer. Whereas solving equations is x like equals 1. So expressions versus equations. All right, hang on, sorry. Okay. So, let's see. 8 minus 15 minus 12, that's the same thing as what that says. If you put that in your calculator correctly, you should get negative 19. So this is 8 times a negative 1 times a negative 12. So double negatives make sure that's going to be a positive. You multiply all that together, you get a 96. 180 divided by negative 12 is a negative 15. Let's see. This would be 8 plus 15 minus 12, because the absolute value of negative 15 is a positive 15. Put that in the calculator, you should get 11. This is 8 times 1 times 12, which is 96, because all absolute values are positive numbers. So 180 divided by 12 is 15. Excuse me. All right. Multiplying fractions, you're multiplying across the top is 10. You're multiplying across the bottom is 21. It does not reduce. So think about divisibility tests. The 2 goes into the 10, but not into the 21, so we can't do it. 3 doesn't go into the 10, and 3 goes into the 21. Remember, 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 is not divisible by 3. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 is divisible by 3, but if they're both not divisible, then you can't. And the 10 is divisible by 5 because it ends in a 0 or a 5, but the 21's not. So I can't do anything more with that answer. All right. Let's see. Division for fractions. Keep the first one, change the division to a multiplication, and flip the second one. And then you're multiplying across 12, 14. That needs to be reduced. By 2? If you do the top by 2, whatever you do to the top, you need to do the bottom. So negative 6, do not lose that negative. Over 7, that's the final answer. If you want to, you can go back over here and take the 2 out of the 4. That'll give you negative 6 over 7. If you do both like I do, I've gotten the habit of doing both because I teach both. But what it does is double check what I've just done as well. So there's doesn't hurt doing it twice for those. All right, so perimeter is the distance around a two-dimensional shape. The perimeter itself is a distance, which is one dimension. A two-dimensional shape has sides that you would, if you had to find the area, it would be length times width. But perimeters are distance around, so it's a little complicated of a sentence. Let me write that down. So perimeter is one-dimensional because it's a distance, okay? If a distance around a two-dimensional shape, a 2D shape, has a length times a width to get the area. So the wording's a little weird, sorry. And then this is a perimeter of a square. This is the formula of a square. Has, if it tells you that one side is 12, that means this side's 12, this side's 12, and this side's 12. So the perimeter is the distance around, so 4 times 12 is the perimeter, which is 48 inches. Excuse me. If we wanted the area, the space in the middle would be the area, which is the length times the width. And if it's a square, it would be 12 times 12, or 144 inches is the area. Okay. Excuse me. All right, translate means give me some numbers and some math operations. So for more than, that's a math operation, plus 5. More than, though, is one of the, I would accept this one because it's a plus. You get into trouble with the negatives. But remember, there are 3 keywords that imply a change in order. Change in order. As you read them left to right. So that means, let's see, what are the what are the keywords? The keywords are more than, less than, and from. So, in other words, those are more than. So, really, technically, when this gets kind of complicated with more things going on, 4 more than 5, that means 5 plus 4, technically. Okay? 4 times 2 times 2, or times 2, less than is one of those words. So, you really should be writing 10 minus 4 is the same. 10 minus 4 is the same as 4 less than 10. All right, your family of 4 goes out on a buffet, pays $10 each for food. 4 times 10. And all 4 of them get $2 drinks. How much should they pay altogether? You should be writing an equation down. That's a $48 without taxes and tip. All right, so Don bought a car. He bought a car. He spent $1,200. So that's a negative. He bought a car. Somebody didn't give him $1,200. He spent that, so it's a negative. He also spent $300 on repair, but then he sold it. Somebody did give him $2,300 for it. So negative plus another negative is a bigger negative, and then we're taking that from the 23. Put that in your calculator, you'll get 800. That's the profit he made. Okay, next page. We're supposed to be doing exponents and square roots. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, the excuse. Make sure you understand that that's exponents and square roots are to be done. An exponent consists of its base, and that's so right. So like in this one, this is 6 is the base, 3 is the exponent. The 3 implies that this is 6 multiplied by itself 3 times, not 6 times 3. That's a mistake that's often made. It's a little confusing, I know what that, but we have to understand that that symbol, that's what exponents mean. That's a rule. So 6 to the third is 3 of them. So the base is 3, the exponent is 1 when you have just a, so if you just had a 6 and you didn't see any exponent, there really is a 1 there. Okay? So this one says, write the following in exponential notations. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 3s. So we write 3 to the 4th. Then we have 2 5s, that's 5 to the 2nd. And then there's only 1 4. So I will accept a little 1 there. I wouldn't do that in the homework, but there really is a 1 right there. So you can put the 1 there or not put the 1 there. But you don't want to multiply this out and give me a big whopper number if it says please leave it in exponential notation. Okay? When something is to the 2nd power, you can say it's squared. To the 3rd power, you can say it's cubed. And most of the other ones are saying raised to the 4th power. Or they'll even just say 4th power. For the square roots, that part is just the radical sign. There sometimes may be a number in the little dent right here. For our class, there's probably, well, let's see. I'm going to go with never going to be a little number there. And right here, it says, when there is no index shown, it's understood to be a 2, whether you see it or not. Okay? So on your calculator, it's not going to have that 2 there either. It's just going to have that sign. So you need to be able to find that in your calculator. Most of the calculators, you have to hit second, the one that's required for the class. You have to hit the second button. And then you go down and find a button, and right above it has that. So if you hit second, that means it's going to read that up there instead. Some of you don't have that one, so you won't see your square root bar on your screen. So make sure you understand how to use your calculator for square. I think the little A's, you have to put the number in like 36, and then go find that square root button. Hit that, and it will give you that it's 6. The other ones, you have to hit the second, this one, that'll put this in the screen, and you have to type the 36 in and push enter, and then you'll get the 6. So make sure you're understanding how to use that. Square roots, in this class we're going to use perfect square roots. That means square root of 9 is 3, square root of 81 is 9, square root of 121 is 11, because these numbers are perfect squares. Okay, so their square roots are whole numbers. Their principal square roots are positive whole numbers. That's a 7. Going back the other way, remember this is going to be 9 squares, so 9 times 9 is 81. 4 of these. Let me get my key out to make sure I put enough of 0. Yeah, 4 of these is obviously 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. 4 of them, anyway, which gives you 4 zeros, which gives you 10,000. Be careful when you're doing those in your calculator. This one's 64. This is 343. What do I got left? All right, I'll do the rest on the next video. Thank you.